Hi there, musitrature recaps here. Today, I'm breaking down the movie Timber Falls. The film kicks off with a gripping scene, a young woman confined in a dim basement, tightly bound to a medical bed. Meanwhile, in an adjacent room, her boyfriend is subjected to torment, with an unknown assailant administering electric shocks. Summoning incredible resolve, Sarah endures excruciating pain, managing to free her hands and release the bindings on her legs. After tending to her injuries, she ventures into the corridor, catching a glimpse of her boyfriend. Unfortunately, her attempt to aid him is thwarted by the presence of a menacing madman in the room. As Sarah leaves the basement, a sudden noise catches the madman's attention. Despite her boyfriend's plea to escape without him, Sarah finds herself pursued by the unknown figure, seeking refuge in the forest. But her desperate flight leads her to a cliff's edge, where escape seems impossible. With a sickle-wielding madman closing in, Sarah faces a heart-wrenching decision, ultimately leaping off the cliff and into eternal rest. Shifting gears, let's rewind a bit. Meet Michael and Cheryl, a couple seeking an exhilarating weekend escape in scenic West Virginia. They're drawn to the allure of forests, mountains, and waterfalls, the perfect backdrop for a relaxing getaway. Before embarking on their mountain adventure, our couple seeks advice from the local sheriff, Sam. Sam offers insights into the available hiking trails, suggesting two beginner-friendly options that are closely monitored by law enforcement for safety. Emphasizing the unpredictable nature of the mountains, Sam underscores the importance of carrying a first aid kit. Moreover, he urges them to show courtesy to the locals, a key factor in avoiding potential troubles. Back in the car with Cheryl and Michael, all set for their adventure. Michael suggests leaving their phones in the car, but Cheryl insists on taking hers along. Safety first, right? And just to be extra cautious, Michael brings along a loaded revolver. As they journey deeper, they come across a fork in the road and opt for a path leading to the mountains. Guess who they bump into? A friendly face named Ida. They strike up a conversation and ask for some advice on the best route. Ida recommends skipping the simple trails and points them toward the captivating, foreign forest, trail. Oh, and she can't help but notice Cheryl's wedding ring. Turns out our couple is hitched. The foreign forest doesn't disappoint, they're surrounded by breathtaking nature. As they walk, Cheryl and Michael even spot some wildlife and decide to capture the moment with a few photos. Feeling the romantic vibes, they decide to get cozy and enjoy some outdoor love. But wait, things take an unexpected turn. Out of nowhere, three local troublemakers armed with rifles show up, and their intentions are far from friendly. They start making inappropriate advances toward Cheryl, leaving Michael furious yet helpless due to the hooligans' weapons. One of the guys, Daryl, proposes a deal. He'll let them go if Michael buys a pricey can of local booze for $50. Michael, sensing an opportunity, feigns searching for money in his backpack, secretly planning to use his revolver against them. Cheryl intervenes, urging him to pay up to avoid trouble. Eventually, the trio of troublemakers, Daryl, Brody, and Lonnie, takes the money and leaves the scene, leaving the city-dwelling couple both relieved and rattled. A little while later, Cheryl has a heart-to-heart with her boyfriend. You see, she works as a nurse and has witnessed suffering and death up close. She urges Michael to get rid of the revolver, not wanting it to cause harm. Michael, though, has concerns. He worries that kids might stumble upon it. To find a middle ground, he decides to toss the bullets into a nearby waterfall. Smart move, right? Now, here's where things get interesting. Our couple crosses paths with Deputy Clyde, who strikes up a conversation. He's curious about Cheryl and Michael's views on the church and even offers a suggestion for a great camping spot. Now, fast forward to this picturesque spot near the lake. Cheryl and Michael set up camp and get their tent all sorted. As the evening sets in, they share an intimate moment, oblivious to a silent observer nearby. After their romantic escapade, Cheryl playfully teases Michael about their marital status, sparking a sensitive chord. See, Michael dreams of making Cheryl his wife, but her playful refusals sting him. Things take a dark turn at dawn. Cheryl heads to the lake for a refreshing swim, totally unaware that a sinister presence is lurking. In a chilling moment, an unknown figure attacks her. Michael is awakened by her scream and rushes to the lake. He finds a pendant she left behind in the water, realizing she's vanished without a trace. As a gunshot echoes, Michael's resolve intensifies. He ventures deeper into the woods, only to encounter a painful obstacle, a stick lodged in his hand. After removing it and tending to the wound, he persists in his search for Cheryl in the wild, once beautiful yet now treacherous terrain. Hold on tight, because the story takes another twist. Just as Michael's on the move, guess who reappears? Those troublemaking hooligans from earlier. They're closing in on him, but Michael's not about to back down. He confronts them, wrestles away Daryl's rifle, and takes control of the situation. Lonnie managed to slip away, so now our protagonist has a pressing task: interrogate the lone hostage. Daryl, on the other hand, stumbled upon Cheryl's towel but drew a blank on her whereabouts. Hold on tight, because things are about to get even more intense. Picture this: the menacing bully whips out a pocket knife, launching a deadly assault on Michael. But guess what? Michael prevails, overpowering Daryl and continuing his quest to locate the missing girl. As the search rages on, Michael's luck takes a nosedive. He unknowingly stumbles into a hunting trap, and the excruciating pain leaves him unconscious. Brace yourselves for a twist: a local resident named Ida makes a surprise appearance. When Michael comes to, he realizes he's in the care of this mysterious woman. The good news? His leg bone isn't fractured, and Ida is tending to his wound. But here's where things get intriguing. Ida doesn't have a phone, but she's got a walkie-talkie that could be the lifeline they need to contact the sheriff. Michael urgently asks for help to report Cheryl's disappearance, but there's a hiccup. Ida reveals that Sam, the sheriff, isn't responding. Hold your breath, because the plot thickens. Brody pays Ida a visit, eager to find out if she's crossed paths with the tourist who dealt a lethal blow to Daryl. But Ida's no snitch. She skillfully deflects, shielding the wounded Michael and denying any knowledge of strangers in her abode. Now, get this, Michael's got his suspicions about Ida. He never spilled his name, yet she seems to have found his ID and wallet stashed in his car. That sets off alarm bells, and Michael's trust in Ida begins to waver. His gut feeling leads him to ask for the walkie-talkie, and that's when the story takes a chilling turn. Brace yourselves, because it turns out Ida's not your run-of-the-mill local. She's got an unsettling fixation on religion and the idea of righteous deeds. Making love before marriage is a grave sin, and Michael and Cheryl are about to face the consequences. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Michael's desperate attempt to reach out to the sheriff hits a wall. Intriguingly, he stumbles upon a basement door. What he discovers below is beyond chilling: jars filled with preserved unborn children, an eerie church altar adorned with candles, a testament to the woman's unwavering devotion to religion. The story takes a hair-raising turn as Michael follows a lengthy corridor into another room, where he finds Cheryl bound and in distress. As he frees her, a crazed madman wielding a sickle launches a fierce attack. Amid the chaos, Cheryl escapes, while Michael and the assailant engage in a brutal brawl. Cheryl, racing for her life, manages to halt Deputy Sheriff Clyde on the road, begging for aid. But hold on to your seats, because Clyde is no hero. In a shocking revelation, he turns out to be an accomplice of the madman, Deacon. It appears they're part of a trio consumed by their religious fervor. Our couple's nightmare is far from over, as they find themselves back in the eerie basement, a captive audience to Ida, Clyde, and Deacon's twisted beliefs. Prepare for another jaw-dropping twist. The trio forces Michael and Cheryl into a marriage ceremony, declaring them husband and wife against their will. The couple is then separated into different rooms, each facing their own ordeal. And just when you think things couldn't get any more intense, Clyde steps up to the plate, aiming to explain the twisted rationale behind their torment. He invokes the story of Judas, claiming that his fate was predetermined and his actions were in line with a divine plan. But Michael isn't buying it. Emotions flare, and he lashes out with harsh words, insulting Clyde's faith. The tension reaches a boiling point as Clyde's anger boils over, demanding respect for his deeply held religious beliefs. As the events unfold, Deacon keeps a close watch over Cheryl, his primal instincts driving his actions. However, it's only Ida who holds the power to control her disfigured brother, using a herbal tea with a hypnotic effect to calm him. The shocking truth emerges: Cheryl and Michael were abducted with a sinister purpose in mind, to conceive a child. Ida, who has faced multiple unsuccessful pregnancies, believes the young couple is the key to fulfilling this desperate hope. Their marriage was orchestrated to ensure the child is born within wedlock. Deacon ushers Michael into the room where Cheryl is restrained, her sleep providing an opportunity for Michael to fulfill their captor's demands. Ida warns that this process takes time, emphasizing their readiness to wait. But the consequences for refusal are dire. Swearing in defiance once more, Michael faces the wrath of Clyde, who warns him that things will only worsen. With eerie music playing in the background, the tormentors exit the room, leaving Deacon as the sole guardian of the exit. Left alone with Cheryl, Michael seizes an opportunity, smashing the music player in a desperate bid to rouse her from her slumber. His attempts, however, prove futile. Later on, the young couple is separated once more into different rooms to assess the results of their ordeal. With no success in their attempts, Cheryl and Michael face brutal punishment. Deacon administers lashes with a whip to Michael, while Ida resorts to even more horrifying measures, cutting off Cheryl's little finger. Hours later, Brody and Clyde cross paths by the lakeside. Suspicion looms as Brody questions the deputy sheriff about the missing couple, especially since he spotted their car in the parking lot the previous night. Clyde evades revealing any information, managing to convince the local troublemaker that the couple has departed. However, beneath this facade, he covertly observes as the tourist's car sinks beneath the water's surface. As evening falls, Clyde returns to the house, insisting that Michael engage in intimacy with his young wife. Michael staunchly refuses, convinced that their loved ones will launch a search for them. The deputy sheriff casts doubt on this, revealing Michael's car keys as evidence of their fate, submerged underwater. Once again confined to a room, Cheryl feigns sipping the tea to stay awake. Exhausted from the torment and abuse, she decides to comply with the demands of the religious fanatics. She suggests to Michael that they fulfill the request. However, he declines, aware that it would cost him his life immediately, and Cheryl would meet a grim fate after giving birth. In the meantime, Sheriff Sam and Deputy Evelyn discuss the disappearance of the couple. Cheryl's mother contacts the police station in search of her daughter. With the couple failing to return from their weekend trip and missing work, she offers a substantial reward for any information leading to their whereabouts. Clyde and Ida pay the young captives another visit to assess their progress. Michael is candid about their lack of intimacy and failure to conceive a child. Simultaneously, Evelyn establishes communication with the deputy sheriff, while Michael and Cheryl attempt to call for help. However, their pleas fall on deaf ears as Clyde ignores his assistant's calls, rendering their cries for assistance unheard. Shortly after, Evelyn ventures into the woods and crosses paths with Brody and Lonnie. Inquiring about the missing couple, they learn of the reward and decide to search for the tourists to claim the easy money. As night descends, Ida and Clyde make a firm decision to exact punishment upon Michael for his defiance and perceived blasphemy against their beliefs. Employing heated metal rods, they sear the guide's flesh, subjecting him to excruciating pain and suffering. Meanwhile, in an adjacent room, Deacon's primal instincts resurface, driving him towards Cheryl. Despite her efforts to free herself and fend off the disfigured madman, she is overpowered by his superior strength. Deacon, brandishing a sickle, seeks to forcibly claim Cheryl, but the timely intervention of Ida and Clyde prevents his sinister intent. Later, the deranged family orchestrates another joint gathering for the couple, accompanied by a chilling warning that they won't hinder Deacon next time, granting him free reign over Cheryl. Michael is shaken by Ida and Clyde's paradoxical convictions. Their fear of an illegitimate child contrasts sharply with their willingness to inflict agony upon innocents. Despite enduring torture and torment, Michael clings to hope, believing in their eventual rescue. Recognizing Michael's unwavering resolve, Ida shifts her focus to Cheryl. In her twisted perspective, many bodily functions and organs are superfluous for the sole purpose of bearing a child. Ida expresses her readiness to excise these elements from Cheryl. In a moment of raw honesty, Cheryl discloses that she has been pregnant for 8 weeks. The revelation hits Ida and Clyde with a jarring realization: their grand design to produce a religiously pure offspring has crumbled, and their carefully crafted plan has come undone. In the midst of this turmoil, Brody and Lonnie forcefully enter the deranged couple's home, realizing that they are holding tourists captive. Brody steps into the house, but Ida swiftly fires a gunshot, incapacitating him. Meanwhile, Lonnie discovers another exit from the basement, only to come face to face with Clyde, who mercilessly strikes him down with an axe blow. As the bodies are interred in the garden, the deputy sheriff concedes the collapse of their plan. The impending search for Cheryl and Michael prompts him to suggest disposing of them and seeking a replacement couple. This proposal disappoints his wife, Ida, who is eager to become a mother promptly. Ida contemplates terminating Cheryl's pregnancy, yet Clyde explains it's now too late. Seizing a fleeting chance, while the family pursues the hooligans, Michael discerns a knife on the floor and ingeniously secures it, eventually freeing his hands. Back in the basement, the deputy sheriff aims to shoot Michael but is thwarted by the earlier neck wound inflicted by Michael. In a swift move, Michael ends Clyde's suffering with a rifle, but ammunition is depleted. Discovering her husband's lifeless form, Ida realizes the trap. She ruthlessly attacks Michael, impaling him with a metal rod. However, Cheryl intervenes, swiftly beheading Ida with a deft swing of a sickle. Equipped with newfound strength, Cheryl seizes the moment. Making her way up to the house, Cheryl endeavors to establish contact with the sheriff through her walkie-talkie. However, the deacon quickly spots her and launches an attack. Acting defensively, Cheryl thrusts a church cross into the madman's cheek before swiftly fleeing. Seizing a fleeting opportunity as the deacon steps outside, Cheryl concocts an impromptu Molotov cocktail, setting it ablaze and hurling it at the deranged assailant. Meanwhile, Ida assaults Michael, driving a metal rod into his body. In a resolute move, Cheryl seizes a sickle and delivers a fatal blow, decapitating Ida in a single decisive stroke. After this intense confrontation, Cheryl locates her mobile phone and urgently summons the police for assistance. A year later, Cheryl and Michael revel in wedded bliss, embracing their role as parents to a young child. With their baby settled for the night, the couple retreats to their room, unaware that the deacon has surreptitiously entered the nursery, brandishing the same sickle. The film concludes here, leaving a chilling sense of suspense. Thank you for tuning in to watch.